In 2024, a truck crashed into Kanawha Animal Rescue, where I work. 146 of our dogs needed homes fast. We asked for help on Facebook. Our story spread through WhatsApp messages and Instagram reposts. Immediately, people stepped up.
I'm here to foster.
And just 6 hours later, every dog was fostered. I'll never forget how our community showed up for us.
Learn how over 3.5 billion people connect to what matters with Meta at meta.com/community.
You're more than just one thing. You're the boss. Hey Google, what time is my meeting with Tim today?
The athlete.
That class wrecks me. The ringleader. And we're good. And always, their mom. Everyone in. The all-new Mazda CX-5. More to move every side of you. Learn more at MazdaUSA.com.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC. Sequences shortened and simulated.
This episode of Phillies Therapy was executive produced by Adam D., Andrew C., Andrew G., Joe M., Mary R., and Owen S. Thank you all for your support. To learn more about how you can support Phillies Therapy, be an executive producer, or just join our community over on Discord, go to patreon.com/Phillies Therapy. All right, on to the show. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, fanatics of all ages. Welcome to another episode of Phillies Therapy. I'm in a good mood this morning. Here it is Tuesday, April 7th, 2026, because I woke up having stayed up very late, well past my old person bedtime, to watch a Phillies game in San Francisco, my personal house of horrors. Not just mine, the team has made it their own house of horrors over the last few years, last decade plus, really. Not last night, though. No. They started off a series on the right foot by coming back in San Francisco and toppling the Giants 6-4. Andrew Painter did not have his best stuff. He had to battle his way through 4 innings. But the bullpen took care of business from there, and the offense, in a surprising twist, came back and did their job without hitting a single home run. And so the Giants, well, they might be bad, but the Phillies are 6-4. They're tied atop the National League East with those powerhouse Miami Marlins and those plucky upstart New York Mets. Things are going pretty well. Things are, I think, matching about what we expected for a lot of this roster, but maybe not. Maybe there's something in there that's just a little bit different, but maybe it's sustainable. We're going to take a look at this 10-game snapshot in time. We are 1/16 of the way through the Major League Baseball season. And we're going to chat a little bit more about this team. And to help me do that, let me, of course, bring in my co-host. He is the Athletics Phillies beat writer. He is waking up early on the West Coast to do this with me. He is Matt Gale. Matt, good morning. I hope that coffee has hit your system quickly.
Not yet. But yeah, that's a game Monday night that they usually don't win, especially here. I mean, they had lost 18 of 22 here at Oracle Park, and it's the first time since 2014 that they won the first game of a series here. I mean, that is insane. That's insane.
Crazy.
Insane. When relayed that fact of the game, Bryce Harper just said, "That's wild," and he's right.
Yeah,
he seems to be the only one who doesn't think that this place is hell, and I am too. I mean, I love coming to San Francisco. It's one of the best ballparks there is. If you ever have a chance to come out here, whether it's to watch the Phillies or not, would highly recommend if you do try to do a ballpark trip. Great city, great ballpark. The Phillies don't play well here, but Bryce Harper loves this place. And I always over the last years I always thought he was just kind of saying it tongue in cheek. But he actually does. And he doesn't have great career numbers here. But of course, you'll remember last year, the last game that they played here in San Francisco last year, they won 13-0. Harper had a huge game. After the game, he's like, I'm a good player. I know I'm good. He was it was a very weird, and he kind of, started a little bit of a hot streak for him. I don't know if Monday's game is going to do the same thing. But his first 3 RBI game since last August, first 3 hit game since last August. The double he hit in the 5th inning was the hardest ball he's hit all season.
That was the big one for me. Yeah.
He was making reckless decisions on the bases, which tells you he's feeling himself.
Yeah.
So, I think Monday night's game was interesting for a lot of reasons, but, it gave us maybe our first real glimpse at, good Harper. And, that would be, that'd be a welcome thing for the Phillies right now.
Yeah, it would be a welcome thing, of course. I was thinking the very same just before he smashed that double off the wall, that I was really missing some hard contact at the moment from him, and he delivered right when he needed it to. He's only hitting 200 on the year, of course, slugging over 400. It's kind of a common theme with some of these hitters. You look at Kyle Schwarber's line. Batting average, if that's your thing, 171, struck out 17 times, 46 plate appearances. He's still got an 855 OPS. Which is 136 OPS plus.
I mean, Monday night was a great Schwarber game. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, scored a run. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just the offense is a little strange. But if you take a step back and look across the league, in a lot of ways, they're above average, all things considered. Which
every way, pretty much.
Yeah. Like, I guess that says more about the state of offense in the league through this first week and a half, 2 weeks or so.
But that's an important
about the Phillies.
Yeah, but that's an important context here.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like if we're trying to capture, where the Phillies stand, I think you need that. I think you need to look at the bigger picture. And yeah, I mean, they are above average in every offensive category, which is a surprising thing. They're 11th in the majors in OPS. 707 OPS. The league average right now is 697. I mean, that's wild. So I think there's a lot of, I think we've spent 10 games, in essentially 2 weeks now, looking at the Phillies and thinking about, what they are not, and there's a lot of things to nitpick, I think. I mean, they have not been a consistent run producing team. There's certainly been holes in the middle of that lineup. I mean, Alec Boehm and Bryson Stott hitting 4 and 5. You're just kind of like, do you make a switch here? Trey Turner has chased a lot. Kyle Schwarber has struck out a lot. Bryce Harper has been off to a weird kind of start. I don't really know how to explain it.
Yeah, me neither.
JT Realmuto has not made a ton of contact, but when he makes contact, it's been hard. I don't know.
Leading the team in all base percentage. Sure. Why not?
Yeah. On the pitching side, like it's been mostly great.
Oh yeah.
And they have a 4.35 ERA. So you're kind of like, has it been great? But I think the more you take a step back and think about 6 and 4, 6 out of 10. If you win 6 out of 10 the whole year, like you're in pretty good shape. But I don't know. Like I think maybe it's worthwhile to not focus on what they are and maybe not what they are not.
In what way? So let's dig into that a little bit more. What they are instead of what they are not.
Like, take Monday night again. Like, look at to me as like a microcosm of what they are right now. Is that Andrew Painter did not have his best stuff. He ends up throwing like 90 pitches in 4 innings, but he gets through that 4th inning. And even Rob Thompson's like, they could have taken him out there in the 4th, but he was like,
yeah, they pushed him.
And Thompson's answer after is like, I kind of want to see how he responded, like what kind of guy we have. And I thought that was fascinating, and I kind of like it. And Painter had the bases loaded with 1 out, gives up a long sac fly to Luis Ariz, and then gets out of the inning without any further damage. And it's a 4-0 deficit. They shake his hand and they go to the bullpen. The bullpen, Paul, which has been exceptional. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. There was a point there where they had retired 26 batters in a row over this road trip.
Secret perfect game, yeah.
Well, they didn't get to 27. No.
Oh, but, yeah. Close. Armando Galarraga did. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially, yes. But now it's only like 30 out of their last 32 batters that they faced. They've retired. But like Tim Meza, the last guy on the roster, has pitched 7 scoreless innings. He's allowed 2 base runners. He comes into the game, easy 5th inning. Jonathan Bolin comes into the game. He's been so-so. Had a great inning, like in the 6th. And then now you take the lead and then you hand it over to your Alvarado, Keller, Duran, sequence, which is what they want. And I thought it was Keller's best inning with the Phillies so far. Duran is kind of playing with hitters, I feel like, right now. I mean, he's trying to always do different mixes. I wrote about this, the splitter that he's throwing now. Even he's like, it's gross. Yeah, it is. Um, I don't know. I mean, like I look at the bullpen as a whole, and now they get Ryan Kirkner will be back. He'll be active Tuesday. They optioned Kyle Backus to AAA after the game, and even I was trying to think, Paul, and Rob Thompson says that he's like Backus, like he's been better and better with every outing. He's been pitching well, and we're sending him out. Like I can't remember. Do you remember at all a situation last year where they sent out a pitcher and you're like, man, he's pitching well, and like they just have too many guys, like they have to send this guy out because he's got options, or they need to make space for somebody else. I can't recall an instance last year where they're sending somebody out and you're like, man, does that guy, like, should that guy go down? Like, does that guy deserve to go down?
I want to say they did that years ago with Zack Eflin, and that might be the last time.
Okay, that's years ago.
I know, but that might be the last. That's the first thing that jumps to mind. Certainly nothing last year, because that was just it was a circus, especially early in the year.
Yeah, I mean, and so like to be at that point is not bad. The fact that Meza and Pop, who have been fine, right? They've been fine as the last guys in the bullpen, and they have pitched well enough that you're like, Backus, like, you've been good. I know he had a really bad opening day, and it sticks in everyone's mind. And maybe we're thinking about, again, he's a good instance of like, he was the last guy in the bullpen. It's like, well, all I think about is that, the 3-run homer you allowed in opening day. It's like, well, ever since then, honestly, like
he's been fine.
He's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. It's like, okay, well, now all of a sudden he goes to AAA, and if there's an injury or if somebody else is ineffective, they swap him out. I mean, like, this is just the luxury, of that deeper bullpen. And I don't know, maybe I'm overplaying this, but like, it's been really good. And so you go back to that 4.35 team ERA, and I'll single one guy out. I mean, Taijuan Walker has allowed basically a quarter of the runs the Phillies have allowed this season. Okay. And we know that he's holding a place for Zach Wheeler, who will be back later this month. And you take Walker out of that picture, and I mean, the pitching has been really, really good. The pitching has been really good. And Monday was the perfect example of that, is because Painter was not great. He was good enough, got them through 4, and then the bullpen did the rest.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked at Painter's outing last night as probably the yang to the yin of his debut, or maybe it's reversed. I'm sorry, I don't know if I have that quite right. Either way, that's what I see.
Not enough first pitch strikes. Not enough first.
Yeah,
pitch strikes.
Right. And that's the other side of his coin. That's the kind of thing. I think I did a bad job of explaining my position on Painter coming into this season, but I think these first 2 starts have come together to form the picture that I think I was trying to convey. We're going to see some really good stuff out of him, I think, like we saw with his debut, where he was excellent against the Nationals lineup. And then we're going to see some stuff like we saw last night, where it's definitely not as good. Fastball command was missing, and the secondaries weren't good enough to overcome that. And a weaker lineup made him pay for it a little bit, not too much.
He was just behind in the count so much.
And
he was also like, he was behind in the count often in his debut, but he was able to land some of those breaking pitches to get back into the count. He really just could not do that against the Giants, and they only swung and missed at 4 pitches, and a lot of that was because he was behind in the count, and he had to go really fastball heavy.
Yeah. He also, I maybe you could call this a Real Muto framing versus Bailey framing thing. It did feel like his zone was not quite as wide as Adrian Hauser's. It felt like Hauser had a little bit more fuzz around the shadow of the zone, so to speak, which probably didn't help. But
there were 1 or 2 pitches I thought JT should have challenged with Painter on the mound. There's a pitch to a rise, an 0-0 pitch in that 4th inning. That was definitely a strike. But you know what? Like, they ended up using the challenges really well, I thought, Monday night. They went 3 for 3. JT won 2. Schwarber won a challenge that became a walk. JT won one that turned turned a strikeout turned a walk into a strikeout.
Mm-hmm.
to begin the 8th inning with Keller on the mound. Like,
yeah,
I at Crawford, who should not challenge again this season. He was the only one who did not. But that was his second one this year, where he's like, it's almost like a rage challenge, where he's just kind of upset, and that's 2 challenges he's made now this year that were not good. He's probably getting a red light on the challenges at this point.
That's pure automotive joy. I'm Peter, the owner of Muscle Car Jr. It started as a hobby. Then I started posting about it. Before I knew it, I built a business restoring muscle cars on Facebook Marketplace and a community of car lovers on Instagram. Today, new customers send me WhatsApp messages from all over. Not bad for a hobby.
Learn how Meta helps over 35 million American businesses like Peter's grow at meta.com/community.
At Planet Fitness, we don't think you should have to pay a ton for everything you need to get stronger. Best-in-class equipment, free fitness training, and over 2,800 conveniently located clubs to choose from. Most open 24 hours, all judgment-free, with membership options starting at just $15 a month. So, whenever you show up, you can give everything you've got. Join the club in person, online, or on the free PF app. Hours, amenities, and offers vary. See club for details. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't predict the future, but it can help you feel confident about future hires. Because Hiring Pro combines real-time insights and candidate data from the LinkedIn network with the criteria you've set for your role to deliver you a list of top-fit candidates. Businesses who use LinkedIn are 24% less likely to reopen a role in the next 12 months. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/Pandora.
Taxes was feeling unwelcome. Now Taxes is an open door, literally, to new TurboTax stores. Meet our experts in person.
Hi, welcome in.
They're powered by smart tech and ready to do your taxes for you. Get real-time updates while you go about your day. Confident your taxes are done right. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. TurboTax stores opening soon. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if anybody in this current lineup doesn't really know the textbook zone, not just because he's a rookie, but because of his style, it would probably be Crawford.
Maybe, but he's the one who's had more experience with ABS than anyone on the team.
Well, yes, but also I think the interesting thing now is going to be the merging of challenge strategy and different players' understanding of their own zone and the now textbook zone, right?
We'll I think there's gonna be more rules that they start to come up with, right?
And we're still feeling it out. Like, how is Crawford, and this is a rhetorical question, how is Crawford blending his particular brand of aggression, not hyper aggression, but aggression, where he feels like he can make contact with a lot of pitches, with an understanding of when a pitch is going to miss the zone when he picks it up out of the hand. All of this coming together, right? Sometimes it results in a bad challenge like last night. And other times I just think it's going to, you add in the game situation, of course. It seems like teams are shying away from early challenges unless they think they are 110% sure. And even that doesn't always work. We saw that in the Colorado series, how that backfired on the Rockies and set them up poorly for the rest of the game. I don't know. I think it has turned into a more interesting wrinkle than I was expecting it to be.
Way more. I mean, it's affecting games. Like I don't.
Yes.
And I think I like it. I think I like it. I am not. I don't want full robot. I don't want
either.
Full robot.
I don't either.
I feel like it's headed to full robot.
I don't want full robot.
I think it's heading there. Don't you?
I don't want it to.
I never go full robot. I will not. I will not get into a Waymo here in San Francisco, and they are everywhere.
Oh boy.
I will not do it. And the Inquirer's Lachlan March and I firmly disagree about this. She thinks the robot cars are fantastic. I said, you're crazy.
Is that a generational gap thing?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
let's talk about Crawford. I want to talk about Crawford. You mentioned Crawford.
Yeah.
No, you mentioned Crawford because
I did.
I think he is a great example of this idea that we're talking about. Is like we're thinking a lot about what they are not or against what they are. So let's look at Justin Crawford. Okay, Justin Crawford in the first 10 games of his major league career, he's played 9 of the first 10. He is hitting 355. He has a 394 on base percentage and a 419 slugging percentage. Okay.
Yep.
He is hitting the ball on the ground at a 79% rate, which is the highest in the majors by a lot.
Yeah.
He is seeing a higher percentage of pitches in the strike zone than any other hitter in baseball, by a pretty good number here. 58% of the pitches that he sees are in the strike zone. And what does that tell you? That tells you that teams are not afraid to throw him strikes because they don't feel like he's going to do damage on them.
Yeah.
He had gone 14 at bats before last night without getting a ball off the ground. And then he did hit a liner double, which almost was an inside the park home run in Monday's game. Like, it almost got by Elliot Ramos in left field, and had it gotten by him, like, I'm pretty sure Crawford's just running for days. He settled for a double. So, Paul, when you look at Justin Crawford, what do you see right now? Do you see the 355 batting average? Do you see everything on the ground and he's getting lucky and it's not sustainable? Like, what do you see when you look at him right now? Because I think this guy right now is a great test of, what kind of perspective I think you have on everything.
All right. So I'll say the bad thing first, and that I think this is his performance. His numbers are going to come down in a hard way. Of course they are.
He's not going to hit 355.
I know that, but like they're going to come down in a hard way. Because what I see with some of these swings and their decisions, and it's not going to hold up against Major League pitching. Something has to get adjusted here or there. What I do see, though, to bring this back into a more positive light, is despite all that, despite the overperformance, despite the, whatever you want to call it, I don't think it's a mirage necessarily, but he's overperforming what he's done. That makes sense. Just roll with it. I do see somebody who is not lost at the major league level. There have been times where he has looked out of it, sure, but they have not been frequent in these first few games, in his first 9 games.
He seems to have what we know is an innate ability, right? He has ability.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
He really does. Like, I
absolutely.
think that's pretty clear. No matter where the numbers end up, he has something, and it's hard to say what that is yet.
Yes. I think that's it's pretty emblematic of the polarizing descriptions and evaluations that we heard and that you heard and were given as he came up through the minor leagues.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like it's supposed to look.
Right, it doesn't.
But that's okay. So wait, I want to counter here. Okay, that, and I don't know if I necessarily believe this. I don't think I do, but they kept waiting. The Phillies did, for him to have prolonged failure in the minor leagues. They were aggressively promoting him. They thought that one of those years where they moved him to AA too fast, when they moved him to AAA too fast, that it was going to catch up to him, that he was going to have to, make some real changes. And he did make some changes last year, AAA, I think, to get, maybe a swing that is less tailored for pounding in the ball into the ground. But what if it just doesn't catch up to him? I mean, like, I see, because I can't put it into words, is that he does have this innate ability, and I'm not sure what it is, but I don't know. I mean, like, what if he just ends up hitting 300 this year in the majors and a lot of the balls are on the ground? Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but it might. And so,
but what if it does? Right.
I asked Rob Thompson before the game yesterday, because I'm curious. I mean, I'm watching. We all see this. I mean, like, it's a lot on the ground. And I'm like, well, what does he have to do to get it off the ground? At least just a little more. And I'm not saying this guy should be a pull side fly ball. He's not. No. But he does need to mix in like a line drive every now and then. And then we saw why Monday night. I mean, like, he gets the ball off the ground, and if it goes remotely near any gap, it's a double. And so this was Thompson's answer. Quote, well, I'm not sure I want him to get the ball off the ground yet. I just want him to be himself. It'll get off the ground just naturally. He's going to get stronger and he's going to make adjustments. But I don't want anybody to harp on him to get the ball off the ground and change who he is right now. It'll come naturally. End quote.
Yeah.
Two thoughts. One, it is the right tact right now to have with this guy because he's 10 games into his major league career. He's had some success, and it's very much along the lines of, what was happening in the minors last few years. It's like we're all watching it. We're all like, is this going to work? That's a separate question from, is it working right now? And the answer is yes. So just let him be. And yes, he is 10 games into his career. You're not trying to change things, even though you're like, is this going to work? Two, I mean, the Phillies are firmly aware that, hitting the ball on the ground 80% of the time is not a good thing. It's not as if they are encouraging him to do this, but I think they're asking him to just do what he knows and see if he can survive doing that as a rookie. Is that a bad idea?
No. And I'm very much in favor of this because, and they are not the same player, but this is just a situation that comes to mind. I don't want them to try and do the Justin Crawford version of what happened to Bryson Stott after 2023, where there was a switch in emphasis, right? This was a guy who found something that worked. Yes, he got buried in a lot of 2-strike counts, but he made it happen. He got all those 2-strike hits, and you think, all right, well, that's probably not something you think could be sustainable. So we're going to ramp up the aggression a little bit. We're going to change the approach just a little bit. Whether that is the main culprit or not, it is not resulted in prolonged success offensively for Bryson the last couple of years. What I would like to happen is exactly what Rod Thompson was just saying, at least for a little while. Let it play out. So far, it's worked, right? I'm saying, he has overperformed. And he has. He's not going to have a 440 BABIP forever.
No.
But,
no.
He's got...
there's two different ways of approaching it. It's like a team could be like, we need to make adjustments ahead of, to get ahead of it because we know we don't think this is going to work. Or we let the player dictate or results dictate when we have to make an adjustment. And I know that there's organizations who would have been more aggressive in trying to change Justin Crawford before this point.
Sure.
And I also understand why the Phillies haven't.
Yeah. There's no need to yet. It's funny. You mentioned the all fields thing and not turning him into a pull side hitter. It's just funny. I'm looking at his batted ball data right now. It's a perfect bell curve through these first few games. 24% pull side, 52% up the middle, 24% oppo. It's just this perfect.
He's done some
curve.
Nice things.
Yeah.
And I will say, I mean, like, because of how teams align their infield against him, the third baseman is always in, the shortstop is a little over. There will be more ground balls that get through just naturally. Because of if he hits them hard. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because I think the average fan, right, is waking up today and being like, oh my God, like this guy is, he's the greatest thing ever. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't think that. I mean, I think as far as the first 10 games go, like he was really good. Like he's doing his job. He's batting ninth. Like he is making things happen. He's mostly putting the ball in play, which is what you want him to do with his skill set. You don't want him to have high strikeout totals.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Keep that strikeout rate.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's worth not focusing on what he isn't yet. And to me, that's I think the larger picture of these Phillies is that we can nitpick all we want, and certainly there are things that have not gone great, but you take a step back and the sum right now of this club looks pretty darn good. And that doesn't mean that they won't be without their challenges and adversity during the season, but I think I see them in the context of other clubs, and I just see a team that just keeps grinding, for lack of a better term. That's a very baseball word, but they've survived some pretty cold starts from a lot of their big guys, and they're 6-4. And I don't know. I mean, maybe this is too rosy of a perspective on them, but
I don't think it is, because we also need to allow ourselves the possibility that some good things of overperformance are allowed to happen to this team. I'll speak for myself. Like the fan side of us in the circles that I pay attention to in particular, we tend to look at this team as, okay, are they able to survive a world in which the worst case happens to most of their roster and the best case happens to all of their closest competitors and the rest of their opposition? It does. I mean, we tend to grade on that curve where we look at this team, especially coming into the year, as, okay, can they survive the very best punches that the Braves and the Mets and, the Brewers and Cubs and the Dodgers and the Padres and all these other contending teams in the National League are going to throw? Because we almost come in assuming that this team is just going to face that every night.
Well,
here's
a good example. Here's a good example of that. Is that like Adolis Garcia? Okay.
Yeah.
He is, one of these 1 year buy low, bounce back candidate types. And how often has that worked for the Phillies the last few years?
Not that often.
Not that often. I don't know if it's going to work with Adolis Garcia, but all of a sudden, like you see him the first 10 games. What do you think of Adolis Garcia through 10 games?
Very, very pleased with Adolis Garcia's first 10 games. Very pleased.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. The guy is a freak, by the way. I mean, like, he almost hit one. He hit a ball last night. He didn't really even hit it. I don't think he got all of it. It was to the opposite field. And it's never, you're a right-handed hitter at Oracle Park. You're not hitting a ball over the wall in right field. He almost did. I was like, oh my God. Like, he almost did. I don't know. Like, yes, he's struck out a few times. He's chased at times. I think that's going to happen. I also see him being more disciplined.
Yes.
than I expected. And it's been
Yes.
10 games, so what the hell do we know? But I think to that thought pause, like you're always thinking worst case scenario. It's like, well, all these bounce back guys, none of these guys have worked out for the Phillies. Here's a thought, like, and he's not going to be this good, but maybe one works. Maybe one of these bounce back guys works.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe he's at least, can he be a 2-win player for them this year?
We are allowed to think that. We are allowed to think that could happen. That's what I'm saying. If Garcia puts up this line that I'm looking at right now, 41 plate appearances, 270, 317, 486. That's excellent.
I mean, especially in this
offensive
that's a huge season.
Yeah, and like
his right field is he plays a really good right field too.
Oh,
like,
he's already
numerous
saved
balls he's gotten. Too.
Where
you're like, yeah.
The arm is a play. He's got more range. Like, he's already added a better element to the outfield defense that I think, even if this offense comes back to earth a little bit, or back to his version of earth, yes, he'll still provide a good lift on defense, because that's a big part of his game. I'm very happy with what I've seen there. I agree with you that he has held his swing on some chase pitches more effectively than I may have been expecting. 9 strikeouts and 41 plate appearances is fine. Can absolutely live with that. 2 home runs is great. Sure. I just think he's looked better on the whole. He has not looked lost. He has not looked flailing. He takes some massive hacks when he thinks he can connect, but it's not all of that. Like, it's not all him just going up there and letting it eat. I think it's been a really nice start, and I'd like to see that continue for as long as it can.
Instagram teen accounts default teens into automatic protections for who can contact them and the content they can see. Explore teen accounts and all of our ongoing work to protect teens online at Instagram.com/teen accounts.
At Planet Fitness, no 2 members are the same. Different routines, different equipment. But they've all got one thing in common. They're strong, like you. No matter how you show up, we have best-in-class equipment and free fitness training to help you keep moving, judgment-free. So join today and choose from over 2,800 convenient locations. Most open 24 hours and membership options starting at just $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. Hours, amenities, and offers vary. Check out planetfitness.com or stop by your local club for details.
Taxes was feeling unwelcome. Now Taxes is an open door, literally, to new TurboTax stores. Meet our experts in person.
Hi, welcome in.
They're powered by smart tech and ready to do your taxes for you. Get real-time updates while you go about your day. Confident your taxes are done right. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. TurboTax stores opening soon. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Introducing Home Care Plus, a new subscription service from Lowe's that helps make life easier by giving members a hand with home maintenance. Let Lowe's tackle the tasks you keep meaning to do, like electric dryer vent cleaning, replacing hard-to-reach light bulbs, and more. Subscribe to Home Care Plus for just $99 a year and consider your to-do list done. Members get more at Lowe's. Available in select zip codes only. Cancel anytime. Non-refundable fee. Product purchase required. Terms and service restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
How differently, last thing I want to mention here, because a bunch of a couple Phillies players were asking me to look this up yesterday pregame.
Okay.
How differently would you feel if the Phillies were 7-3 if that ball that Kyle Schwarber hit Sunday afternoon in Coors Field? I don't know if you saw it. Do you remember it? If that ball would have gone out of the ballpark for a 3-run homer, and let's say they win that game at that point, then how differently would you feel any different? Probably not, right? I mean, they have 7-3 versus 6-4.
420 foot out or something like that.
It was hit at like 107 miles an hour at 30-degree launch angle. Okay.
It's that home run like 99.5% of the time.
So at Coors Field, since they started StatCast, balls hit at that exit velocity and that angle, there's 29 of them, and 28 were home runs.
Oh my god.
Okay, now let's just go even further, right? Okay, just take every ballpark. Screw it. Okay, every ballpark since StatCast was implemented in 2015. Okay, these characteristics. There's been 691 batted balls.
Okay,
and 669 of them were home runs. Let's do the math.
That's a lot.
That's 97%.
I just did that mentally. Thank you very much. Yeah.
It was a day game at Coors Field.
Yeah.
Like, I still can't believe that ball didn't get out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
Neither can Kyle Schwarber, who dropped his bat. He never does this, right? He dropped his bat, like, you know, his little like thing that he hits a home run, and he didn't hit a home run. Like, he never gets it wrong. Like, he knows when he has hit a home run. So they could be 7-3, but they're not. They could also be 5-5, and they're not. 2 comeback wins in the first 10 games. You know,
nearly a comeback win on the opening homestand too, the second game.
Yeah, you know, I think Monday's game, was a like really good microcosm of what we've seen so far in 10 games, and I think there's negatives to focus on, and you can do that. I think the current portrait of this team is a lot of what we thought they'd be. They're good, and you know, we'll see what happens the next 2 days at Oracle Park. And because this is hell for them, we don't know what's going to happen. But I mean, damn, they've set themselves up for, you know, potentially a really good series here. You got Sanchez going Tuesday night, Noel going on Wednesday afternoon, and then you come home, and we'll see.
Amen to that.
10-game homestand after this.
That's a beautiful thing too, right? As April starts to warm up a little bit, we get over the hump of tax day. We're 8 days out from that, by the way. Make sure you get your refunds. It's good to get out of the gate by winning series against teams that don't look to be very good. So it would be good.
That's the other thing too. Yeah. Do you think the Giants are bad?
I think the Giants might be bad. That bullpen needs severe help, and I don't know if it's coming from within. They're probably going to lose a lot of games like the one they lost last night, where, you know, the starter does some pretty good work. Poor Logan Webb is probably going to sacrifice a few wins off that record with that bullpen picking up behind him. They don't look locked down, I think is what I would say. The Phillies bullpen, though, you're right. You mentioned this, you know, earlier here in the episode, looks very good. And getting Kerkering back now should only help that.
Yeah, I mean, you're slotting him middle game.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, you have your guys at the back. He is the 6th inning guy right now, which, yeah. I mean,
that's
a nice luxury.
Shout out to Upper Perk's Tim Meza, who through his first 7 innings of this season has allowed 1 hit and 1 walk and struck out 8 of the 23 batters he's faced.
He's gotten righties out. He's been really good.
He's looked great. So things are going according to plan there. You know, Alvarado's ERA isn't inflated because of that 1 outing. I think otherwise he's looked fine, including last night. You know, it's just,
he wasn't supposed to be pitching in that outing. There was a bit of a miscommunication, I think.
Okay. That also explains some stuff.
That
Anyway,
was after Thompson had been. That was the game where Thompson was ejected.
Yes, right. Okay. Yeah. So I think all told, I never actually answered your question. No, I wouldn't feel different with one extra win here because I think we've all seen that this team it's not looking like a powerhouse right now, but it's looking like a very good team that can win ugly. And well, they'll win ugly more often than they will lose ugly, right?
No, and I think that's like when you look up, it's like there are a lot of like things that haven't gone right in these first 10 games, and they're 6-4.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's where I stand with them.
Yeah,
is that
there's some things that we need to clean up, but
they have not clicked at all.
No.
Okay. No. And they're 6-4. And yes, is that a product of the schedule? Maybe, but also like, this early West Coast trip is not exactly, was not exactly the easiest, and they won 3 out of the first 4 on this trip. So
yeah, I mean, what 16 or 17% of their runs?
You see what happens. I mean, like the Astros.
Inning?
Yeah, the Astros went to Coors Field last night and I don't know if the Astros are good, but I mean they gave up a ton of runs. It's like sure it's the Rockies, but also like weird things happen there, and they essentially mitigated weird things from happening in 3 games.
Matt, I was looking this up. The Phillies allowed 6 total runs to the Rockies during that series. That is the fewest amount of runs the Phillies have ever allowed in a Coors Field series of any length. They used to play 2-gamers back in the day. They allowed more than 6 runs in all of those. Like that was the fewest.
It's pretty good.
I don't know. That was worth mentioning. Again, Colorado, not good, but they've been bad in the past too, and the Phillies haven't done that. Anyway, I feel good. I feel good about things right now. I especially feel good because it does feel like a very small demon was exorcised from my brain watching last night's game. It does. It felt nice. There were shenanigans that could have happened, but didn't. I'm thinking back to the early first or second inning bloop over Alec Boehm's head that he was able to range back and catch. In past years, that probably drops for some weird reason. It didn't. Maybe that was my sign that things were going to be different last night. Either way, they were.
There's a lot of people who went to bed last night thinking that the Phillies had lost.
It was almost
and rightfully so.
Yeah,
rightfully so. Yeah.
I almost packed it in too, but I don't know. Something told me that was going to be different, and it was, thankfully. All right, so we got 2 more of these, and then I can put San Francisco in my rearview mirror and not have to think about a series out there for the rest of the year. It's glorious. It feels good. And then, as you mentioned, the Phillies will come home for a prolonged homestand, which is always nice to come home to. The Phillies have continued to do really great work at home. They'll face Arizona, the Cubs, and our first chance to get a look at the succeeding yet diminished Atlanta Braves, who are perplexing as always. Dom Smith is their best.
They've been on the road forever, it feels like.
Yeah, I don't know. Atlanta. What are you going to do? Get them out of the way. All right, so that's good, Matt. You've done a nice job capturing, I think, the feeling that I've had as somebody who has feared San Francisco and watched that game last night and came into this series thinking, oh boy, here we go again. But that's not how it turned out. I like how the headline, whether you supplied that to Pete or not.
I actually did make the headline, and I sent it to the desk last night, and I said, please someone write a better headline, and they didn't.
But it works. And I mean, the headline, of course, is a Phillies comeback win at Oracle Park, ? It really happened. That's kind of how I feel. It's just, it's not something I go in expecting to happen. And it did, which is great. And it is a load off. For those of you out there who want a little bit more of this show, Phillies Therapy, a heads up that we're doing more episodes. We're really trying to pump up the average to about 2 a week now, but that extra episode is a Patreon exclusive. That's right. We're going to try and check in with you all in between these next 2 series, this road finale with the Giants on Wednesday afternoon before the Friday series opener against the Diamondbacks. We'll have a bonus Patreon episode. We're tentatively titling these What We Learned, where we kind of look back at the very recent past, the end of whatever series just ended.
The Godbacks.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want some of that, patreon.com/Phillies Therapy is where you want to look. $5 a month gets you access to that. There are other tiers if you wish. But really, we're not asking for much. We'd just like to have you as part of our community if that's something you'd be interested in. You can take part in our Discord chats where we had, what was it? I think it was 900 messages during the game day posting last night because we had a little late night fiesta. Oh, it was popping last night.
I was in there a little bit. I don't think I realized.
Yeah, it was great. So if you want to hop in, we got some smart people in here, and I'm not talking about Matt and I. We do some good.
Definitely not me.
We do some good chat, and we'd love to have you. Apart from that, yeah. So we'll see you later this week if you are a Patreon subscriber. If not, we will catch you next week during the homestand. Matt, before I guess we sign off, any last words from you?
Any last words?
Any last words? Yeah, that kind of sounded more ominous than I intended.
Todd Zielecki invited me to go kayaking in McCovey Cove today, and I said no.
Oh. Okay.
But he's going to do it, so be on the lookout for that.
All right, I will.
It's not that I just have other things I want to do here in San Francisco. I don't want to kayak in McCovey Cove, so I'm sorry.
All good. All right, that'll do it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been Phillies Therapy, part of the Believe Podcast Network. For Matt, I am Paul, and we'll catch you next time. A special thank you to the producers of today's episode of Phillies Therapy: Amy Z, Brian J, Briana W, CallisonGhost, Christopher S, Daniel Y, Hunter R, Ian, Jacob, Jaedon M, Jami P, Jason G, Joe M, John S, Kaitlin M, Kodi L, Lindsay, Lisa L, Matt H, Michael W.E.I., Michael W.E.R., Nate J, Phil C, Robert R, Timothy G, Tom D, Tom H, Vinay V, Zack, and our anonymous supporters as well. Thank you so much. To learn how to become a supporter of the producer or executive producer level for the show, go to patreon.com/PhilliesTherapy.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The empty seat. Who is actually just that, an empty chair in your office because you couldn't find someone to fill it. So it just sat there costing you money with all its fancy ergonomic features. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can make it easy to fill that seat with the right candidate. With nearly 60% of businesses finding someone to interview in the first week alone. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/Pandora.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.